moss. More moss to the people, yeah, more moss. More moss to the people, yeah, more moss. More moss to the people. Hi, this is Asa Nilsson, and you're listening to More Moss to the People, where each week we're going to be talking about slowing down, even hurling ourselves off of the Ferris wheel of the production first mentality, and choosing to live a courageous life based on our own needs first, and daring to be different in a world where sameness is encouraged more highly than living a life of authenticity. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Good morning, and I wanted to add a little snippet to my podcast this week. I'm going to start it off with this instead because I realized after I recorded it, something wasn't sitting right with me. I'm like, what is not sitting right? And I realized that I never gave verbal credit to my mentor, Sherry Salata. And Sherry Salata is a woman that is an absolute dream. She used to be the executive producer of the Oprah Winfrey Show. And then, of course, that show went off the air. And Sherry Salata started her own private group called the Support System. And the Support System is a private group. It's a membership only. You pay for it. And I have been a member for over a year. And I wanted to share some thoughts this upcoming year of some things that I had. I was riffing on something that she had said, and she had given these 10 life hacks in this private workshop. And these, the things that I cover in this podcast are her life hacks that I kind of I weave in and out of my own story. And so I wanted to give credit where credit is due. And Sherry Salata has, she's got 100% of my credit, where I have learned and what I have grown into as a woman now at this time of my life. So I wanted to make sure that I started this podcast with giving the credit to her for her 10 life hacks that she shared. And because they were in a private group, I'm not going to give you specifically what her life hacks were, but just make note that many of the things that I talk about in this upcoming podcast are thoughts that come from her that have come into my heart, and then I share them in my own way. Okay, so with that, sit back and enjoy the show. Happy 2023. This is Asa Nilsson, your podcast host for More Moss to the People. Welcome back. I feel terrific. How do you feel? How does it feel to be in this new year? We're the lucky ones. We're the lucky ones. And I'm realizing that more and more, really taking note, because there are so many people that I speak to that have said what a terrible year 2022 was and how awful it was and all this, which, yes, of course, there's terrible things that happen all the time. But as a year in summary, is that what you feel? Because I'm going to ask that maybe you do an exercise to turn that frown upside down, my friend, and to take a look at a day planner, your day planner for the entire year of 2022, or however you keep a library, you keep any kind of a register, or you keep a journal, you keep paper, you keep calendar on your telephone, whatever. Start from the beginning, January 1, 2022, and you write down the beautiful things that you created and that came into your life every single month. Do it month by month. And the things that also maybe weren't that great, where you had some illnesses or you had death in your family where you didn't feel that great. But what was the lesson? What did you learn now looking backwards? What did you learn? What was given to you instead? So when nothing is certain, then anything is possible. One of my favorite quotes. I have no idea who said it. When nothing is certain, then anything is possible. So if we now have 2023 in front of us, year of the 7, it's a 7-year in numerology, which is a year of spirit, year of the environment, and we're recognizing how things are changing very, very quickly in our own cities, in our own towns, on the globe. We see the changes of the weather. We see how it's getting colder in some places, hotter in other places, darker, lighter. I'm telling you, if we don't even want to pay attention to ourselves, we can at least look to the animals, because the animals will show us the answers also. So now, what are we going to do about it? What are you willing to do about it? I've interestingly had people commenting on old videos that I've put out on YouTube that, I've been doing this for years. I've been putting videos out. I've been doing weekly newsletters. I've been putting things out in the world as kind of, now looking in retrospect, it's been kind of a school. It's been storytelling school, because I love to hear other people's stories. I love to share stories. I love to be lost in the thought of sitting around a fireplace, like a fire pit, and just sharing stories, sharing about life, sharing about experiences. It's one of my absolute favorite things, and time just stops. Time just stands still when I hear beautiful stories. And there's so many wonderful things being shared in the world right now in different formats, in different podcasts, and in books and letters and on social media or in movies. And we can find people's beautiful stories everywhere. How are you curating your content? What are you doing to curate your life? What are you taking in? Like, how are you deciding and determining for yourself what you want to listen to? Because, my darling, everything we listen to makes a difference. What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of news are you watching? What kind of magazines? What kind of newspaper articles? What kind of headlines? What are you reading? And how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel expansive and rich and enlightened and loving and wanting to go out in the world and make a difference? Be part of the change? Does it make you want to sit in a corner and suck your thumb because it's horrifying? You get to choose. You have your own choice of how you would like to sign up and figure out what it is and who it is that you surround yourself with. So I don't have a guest this week because I want it this time to be just you and I. I want to consider that you are coming out of the fog, because I'm coming out of the fog, meaning that we are finally clearing our heads out, where maybe we've been numbing, maybe we've been finger pointing, judging others, maybe we've been doing some things like people pleasing. Obviously, I cannot speak to that or any of those things. Yeah, right. My God, please, of course. This life of ours, what am I willing to manifest? What am I willing to manifest that I would love? Think about that question. What am I willing to manifest that I would love to have, to do, to create? Because the feeling of love, the feeling of the power that we have within us when we prioritize ourselves first, when we think about what brings me joy, what does not bring me joy, how can I invest in myself? What are you willing to do to invest in yourself? What are you willing to do for you? Because when you do invest in you, then you're investing in the entire world. Because where do we think it all starts? It starts with us and how we come into the world. Everything starts with us. So, do you want to stop people pleasing forever? I know I do. I know I do. I'm getting triggered left and right. I'm getting triggered because I feel discomfort. I feel discomfort. See what's happening differently in my body now with my people pleasing. Because remember, get the book. If you are a people pleaser, if you are a person that is boundaryless and likes to take care of, well, what you think you're doing is taking care of other people, and knowing what they need more than what they think themselves what they need. That's called control. And trying to have control over other people or situations, that is something that I have done for many, many years. That was a way for me to feel safe. That was a way for me to feel like I was doing something right in the world, which was it? Was it really? I'm going to say no. No, it probably was based in fear. And I don't want to live a life of fear. I choose not to live a life of fear. So if I don't want to live a life of fear, what do I have to do differently? I have to do myself differently. I've got to defog. You know, it's like when you get in the car and you turn the fan on because you can't see out of your windshield. That's what I have to do in my brain. And what am I eating? What am I drinking? How much am I sleeping? What am I consuming? I mean, consuming across the board, because that's where the fog comes from. And I just had this beautiful conversation with my friend on Voxer about she has had a cold. She's had a cold and she's like, oh, you know what? She was telling me this beautiful story, and it was so apparent to me based on what she was saying that she's no longer choosing to numb herself with false emotions of that I don't matter, or oh, everybody else, oh my God, everybody else has the best life. They've got these big careers. They're making all this money. They have all these nice clothes, and they have, and they have, and they have. And the funny thing was, it's like a mirror, yeah? Because what we think that other people have, they are looking at us in the same exact way. They're like, oh my gosh, look at her. She's doing this. She's got a great life. She's got the nicest husband. She's got so much freedom, and she's so creative, and she can do and go anywhere she wants to and work from anywhere. She's got such a great life, right? And here we are looking at somebody else like, oh my gosh, look at them. And we're all just looking at each other instead of looking at ourselves, when we have so many beautiful things happening for us every day, all day. And here we are looking at everybody else and thinking that they've got something more than we do, or they've got something better than we have. And they're looking at us thinking that we've got something better than they do, and that we've got something better than they have. It's like this whole comparison. It's so funny. It's so funny. And we need to stop. I want to manage my life. I want to manage my own self. And that's what the purpose of this podcast is. How can we come back to ourselves and recognize that what we admire in others is actually something we admire in ourselves? We are mirrors. How do we come out of the darkness? How do we look at our shadows? Shadow work is important, good stuff. How do we come out of the shadows? How do we stop living in fear? You shine a light on it. You take a big, big light and you go into the crevices of the darkness where the ugliness sits, the ugly, jealous, sad, resentful, hurtful feelings that make you feel or make you think that you are not enough. When you shine a light on those, then they do not control you anymore. Those feelings of Dread and regret go away because they do not have power. What we fear the most is what we cannot see. And how do we see it? Shine a light on it, sister. Shine a light. When nothing is certain, anything is possible. Why not? Why couldn't it be possible? Why not me? Why not you? You got something you want to do this year? Why can't it be you? You're looking at somebody else at your work and they're like, ooh, they're going to get the boss's job. I want the boss's job. Well, what are you doing to apply for the boss's job? What are you doing to educate yourself, to get yourself more training? What do you need to do to get what you want in life? What do you need to do instead of looking at what everybody else is doing? What do you need to do so that you can be fulfilled? So that you can challenge your own limiting beliefs, because the only way we can challenge our own limiting beliefs is by actually stopping the same habit that we have done for years. And the habit is the story that we're telling ourselves in our own heads that somehow we're not enough. It's not possible for us. No, I can't do that. Oh my God, only people that are tall can do that. Only people that have a lot of money get that kind of an opportunity, right? I mean, it's like the crazy kind of weird things that we say. And that's a challenge. It's a challenge certainly for me, but think about it. How can I practice listening to what I say to myself and changing the story? How do I invest in myself? I change my story first. How do I change my story first? I need to question my story. How do I question my story? I need to recognize what my story even is. Does that mean journaling? Does that mean talking to your best friend? Does that mean talking to your preacher, your rabbi? Does it mean talking to a coach, a therapist, counselor? What does it mean for you to invest in yourself? You have to answer that question yourself. You have to answer it yourself, because in order for you to commit to your own integrity, you must take a look at yourself, understand what is it you stand for. Because if you do not know what you stand for, you are flailing about, my friend. Okay. Now I know this because I have done this. I have been this. I still am. I come in and out of this constantly. Please, I've told you before, I am not coming to you from the rooftops. I am coming to you on the path. We're on this path together. And, if I do something a little differently than you do, that's not me telling you that you're doing something wrong. It's me to say, look, I've made these mistakes. I've done this, and this is what I did about it. So here I am on my path, and you're just coming right up behind me. I mean, I'm like basically holding the light, and we've got like this lantern, and we're on the path. Every one of us is on the path. We're on our own path. Now, maybe my path looks different than your path. Maybe theirs looks different than ours. Whatever. Who cares? Everybody's got their own path. But we're not alone on the path. Yeah? We're not alone. We have one another. We have support. We have everything that we need a fingertip away. We can Google it. We can ask for help. We can reach out and ask for help. But it is definitely high time to challenge ourselves and our limiting beliefs. It is time to quit people pleasing forever. I am willing to manifest what I would love. I am willing to manifest what I would love. What do you want? Are you willing to say what you want? Are you willing to say what you need? Will you choose guilt over resentment? Yes, I will. I'm learning. Why? Because I want to. I need to create my own personal freedom. I need to create my own life of joy, harmony, and peace. That's not up for you to do that for me. It is my job to do that for me. It is your job to do that for you. So, my friend, 2023, here we are. And we have got a beautiful year ahead of us to look at ourselves, to look at our environment, to look at our world, to look at our globe, to take it out, bring it out farther and farther and farther, and then turn it around, put the mirror back on yourself, ourselves, to see what can I do? What can I do to help this world? Highest and best for everyone, but myself first. Our challenge is here, my friend. My challenge is here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with me. Any feedback, thoughts? If you want to be a guest, reach out to me. Tell me your story. This is a place for conversations where we can all get better. We can all learn from one another. Take care. I'll see you on the flip side. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of More Moss to the People. I am Asa Nilsson. If you like this episode, I'd love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, follow the podcast, share it with a friend. I want to say thank you to Kamel Asli for his help with the production of this podcast. Without him, this would not even be in your ears today. I can assure you of that. And let me say a little something about my friend Gregory Paul Donaldson. May he rest in peace, who would always leave me with this quote. He would say, "In the meantime and between time, whatever you do, do it well, and then pass it on. Peace, and most importantly, joy." I want to leave you with that as well. I'll see you on the flip side, my friend. Take care.